Hello everyone, I'm Robert, that guy you met today. If we haven't met, go ahead and scroll through my YouTube videos and let's get to know each other. Behind me is my new to me 1993 Chevy Corvette. And it just so happens to have been the cheapest one in the country that ran and drove and had a clean title. And today we're just gonna go over everything that's wrong with this car because there's a lot. There's an incredible amount of stuff wrong with it. So on that note, we've got wifey here. Shall we go ahead and do it, wifey?
Yeah.
So, first of all, if you're curious about why I bought this car and what's going to be happening to this car, check out the videos beforehand. I will link down below. So when I bought this car, I didn't know that it was the cheapest one in the country that drove and had a clean title. But after the fact, I discovered that that was absolutely the case. As of November 30th, 2018, this was the cheapest one in that condition. But it is not without fault, and we're going to talk about a few of those. We'll get to exactly how much it cost in just a moment, but let's start with some of the issues. The most obvious are the paint. The paint is peeling all over the car, or I should say the clear coat is peeling all over the car. And then there's some damage on this rear fender, and there is a tail light busted out. These wheels actually look surprisingly good from a distance, but when you get up on them, inside that wheel, I don't know if you can see it, but they're pretty well worn out on the inside. Speaking of wheels and tires, these are pretty much dry rotted. This one actually isn't that bad. The one on the other side is flat from dry rot. Yep, that one's flat. It'll hold air for a day or so, but then it just goes completely flat. Also, all the tires are completely mismatched, 100% mismatch. Moving along to the roof, this roof is made out of glass, and then it appears like they just painted the glass. Well, the glass is cracked in several places, and the paint that they put on the glass is peeling off in several places as well. Before we get under the hood, let's talk about these windshield wipers that not only do they not work, but they're actually bent in such a way that if I tried to use them, they would actually scrape across, the metal here would actually scrape across the glass and probably damage the glass. So yeah, no windshield wipers, basically. So this car was bought on Copart, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, but this was some damage that was not on the Copart listing. Right here and right here. And that's really a bummer because the parts that we're not going to be using on this car, we really wanted to sell, and this hood is a big ticket item, and this hood is more or less useless. Front bumper, more the same, clear coat peeling. All the lights work though. Both headlights flip up and turn on, and then the lights under here all work, turn signals work, all of that stuff works fine. And the wheels are okay, just from a distance. That one's missing the cover in the middle there, but up close, they just don't look really good. They don't. Now, let's talk interior. So this is another thing that from a distance, this interior doesn't look too bad, but let's get in there. So other than the obvious, like some holes and some seats there, it's a little dirty. Not the dirtiest car I've ever seen, but it's just a little dirty. Inside, surprisingly, for this car to have the recent history that it doesn't like smell or like feel grimy or anything, but it just feels like a car that hasn't had any TLC in a very long time. The dash is actually in relatively good condition, but we're probably going to destroy that while modifying it. The radio, which I'm assuming was aftermarket, has been taken out, and they just kind of left the wires in there. From a mechanical standpoint, the gear shifter, or the gear selector, while it works, you really have to put some effort into putting this into gear, but it all works just fine. On our passenger side door, you'll notice a little improvised fix to that door handle over there. They've just driven a screw through that. That's good enough. The passenger seat, though, has got a pretty big split in it, which is surprising. I would expect that kind of wear to be in the driver's seat. Leads me to wonder if maybe the driver's seat was replaced at some point. So there's a lot of cosmetic stuff going on with this car, And that might be a problem in some situations, but for me, does not matter. Because let's talk about the one part of this car that there's absolutely nothing wrong with, and that is under the hood. Yeah. Thanks for the help, wifey. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Rude. So, this right here, this engine runs like a top. Now, granted, it stalls from time to time, but I'm thinking that it just needs some fuel injectors, or it just needs to be run, because we have no idea how long this car was sitting before we got it. But once you get it fired up and driving, we did a joyride in this. It pulls strong, it shifts strong, and it's very responsive. Especially to be a car of this age, this feels very, very solid, and that's why I'm very happy with this purchase. Hopefully I'm not gonna be changing my tune in a few weeks about that, but as it stands right now, we're good to go because of this engine. So something else that was wrong with the car when we got it is the battery was completely shot. This is a brand new battery. I've got it disconnected because I think there's something inside the car that's drawing power, and I didn't want it to go flat again. So back to the interior. Basically, none of the electronics on the inside work. The power seats worked initially when we got the car. We were able to adjust the seats, but once we actually got the car running, they stopped working. Shockingly though, the windows roll up and down perfectly. We haven't had any trouble out of those. So now the question is, how much did the cheapest running and driving clear title C4 Corvette cost? Well, the answer to that is $2,200. Now that we've gone through pretty much everything that I know is wrong with this car, there's one other thing that's wrong with it that we're gonna fix today with wifey's help.
We're fixing things?
We are. So I know—
Don't sign up for that.
Oh,
Just came to watch.
When you said I do, you signed up for everything. So all Corvettes are actually convertibles. Did you know that?
No.
Dun dun dun.
Why would I know that?
What's wrong with this particular Corvette is the roof is still on it. It's still got a roof, wifey.
Take it off. Take it off.
No.
Can I drive it? Is it a stick?
No, it's automatic.
Really?
Yeah.
So I can drive it?
You just hold your horses there, lady. So what we're gonna do is I am going to need you and those strong arms of yours to help me take the roof off of this car.
My arms are like the least thing that's attached to my body.
So we're just gonna get the roof off of this car, so there'll be a little bit more room inside to work around, because tomorrow I'm gonna be coming back and doing some work on the interior and getting some measurements for some equipment that we're gonna be putting inside, and that'll just be a whole lot easier with that roof off. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now.
Oh my gosh, it's so little.
It is, it's very tiny. Actually, me and Enrique did a test drive in it, and like we were both just piled in there. It was like we were in a clown car.
I think I'll have like anxiety if I get in there.
Get in there.
No,
Why?
it's okay.
It's clean.
You can take this off first.
So the top is still on. I took the bolts out and I can't figure out how to get it off. So when in doubt, refer to Google. I figured it out. Let's try that again. Ooh, girl, you nasty. Put your top back on. No, you see what I did there?
No.
See what no, not.
I still can't get in it.
What?
Like this has come off.
I had to go and get my tools that I actually just bought. We just stopped at the store and got these, and I didn't think I was gonna need all of it. The bolts that you have to take out of the top are these Torx bit type things, and some of the other Torx ones I was able to get out with the hex, and that was not working with these, so I had to actually go and get a Torx bit. It's amazing what you can do when you have the right tool.
You can't go very far in this car.
Why?
Because I'm sitting like this.
I don't know, people love to road trip these things.
I can't.
Not so much. It's very small.
It's very little.
It's very small. But either way, that's going to make it a lot easier to do the work that we need to do next week inside. I should have all the documents that I need to get the car registered so that we can actually start tearing it apart. But for now, I need to get some good measurements of everything inside because we're going to be having a roll cage made. And then we're also going to be replacing the seats. And I want to make sure that I'm getting seats that will fit between the transmission tunnel and this piece of frame right here, because this is more narrow than most cars, so a universal fit might not be so universal in this case. Then wifey, I think we can probably go home at that point. Huh? Kind of a shame we can't drive it because it's really nice out right now. It's actually a good day to drive it, but we'll go to jail if we try.
I don't want to go to jail.
We would go to jail because there isn't any insurance, registration, license plate, nothing. I don't even have something that says I own it. All right, well, I have the bill of sale, but they'd still take me to jail. I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help myself. FYI, we have exhaust fans in here, so we're good. Okay, all done, wifey.
All done?
Yeah. Don't have to tell you twice?
Nope.
Oh my God. All right, well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe so you stay up to date on this entire project. It's gonna be awesome. Why am I sweating?
You're always sweating.
Rude. Because I'm always doing things. Awesome requires sweat, wifey.
Yeah.